Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are going to take a single primary color and really look at how it can carry the weight of an entire civilization.
Its history, its hopes, everything.
Exactly. I mean, we tend to think of color as this universal language. Blue is water, green is nature, pretty much everywhere.
Right. But that's not always the case. Some cultures have just loaded one specific color with so much meaning, so much power. It really changes how you experience the world.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack a spectacular example of this.
The color red in China.
The color red in China, based on the sources you provided. The reason this is so fascinating right out of the gate is the contrast.
The immediate contrast, yeah.
Think about it. If you see the color red on a traffic light
Right.
or a warning label, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Stop, danger, caution. Or if you're looking at a spreadsheet, loss, it's negative.
It's a prohibition.
Yeah.
And that's so deeply baked into so many systems around the world.
Which is what makes the Chinese relationship with red so revelatory. Because culturally, it represents almost the complete opposite of all that.
It's not caution, it's...
It's life. It's vitality. It's this powerful, positive momentum.
Okay, so let's unpack that, this profound inversion. Our sources talk about red in China as simply the color of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, what makes this one specific color the cultural default for happiness?
Well, it connects to some really fundamental ideas about cosmology. Red is seen as this dominant, dynamic color. Think of it as yang energy in its purest visual form.
So it's not just a happy color, it's an active color.
It's an active generator of good things. The sources lay out 3 core attributes, but they all circle back to that idea of active positivity.
So tell us about those. How does it go from just happy to something that feels almost tangible?
Okay, so first, and this is probably the most famous aspect, it's a channel for Hu Yun.
Good luck. Fortune.
Exactly. Good luck or fortune. And it's not just about hoping for luck. Wearing red, displaying red, it's seen as actively pulling luck towards you.
Interesting. Okay, what's the second one?
The second is, well, great happiness and joy, the
Yeah.
kind of, overflowing communal joy you feel during big celebrations.
And the third?
The third is that it's tied to positive energy. Because of that dynamic, active quality, you'd wear red to feel energized, optimistic. It's a very deliberate choice to infuse your world with this life force.
So when you look at it that way, red isn't a passive thing at all. It's like a command to the universe.
The command to deliver good things, yeah.
But is that always the case? I mean, is this positivity absolute? Or are there times when this bright, potent red might be viewed with a little reservation?
That's a really critical question, because when you're talking about a system that's thousands of years old, there's always going to be nuance.
Right.
Generally, for the specific kind of bright, almost vermilion red we're discussing, the symbolic joy red, the meaning is overwhelmingly positive.
But not always.
Well, historically, you might see a darker red in, say, a political or military context. But even then, it symbolizes strength, revolution. It still has that dynamism. But for the big personal and family moments, the message is pure, unblemished good fortune.
That's a great distinction. These symbolic joy red versus its other cousins.
Mm.
So if this color is a promise of happiness, where do we see it most intensely used in someone's personal life?
Oh, absolutely. And the most significant rite of passage there is.
Marriage.
Marriage, the ultimate beautiful beginning. The Chinese bridal tradition is just the perfect expression of all this symbolism.
So red is the traditional color for weddings, even with the influence of, white dresses from the West.
It is. It remains the customary traditional color.
Yeah.
Because the symbolism is just too potent to give up.
Why, though? I mean, the sources really insist that the red bridal gown is still essential. What does it really do?
When a Chinese bride wears red, she's making a very explicit statement. It's a symbol of blessing, of fertility, and of a prosperous and happy start to her new life.
So it's not just a fashion choice.
Not at all. It's a ritual. It's about infusing the new couple with luck right from the start. And you see it everywhere, not just the dress, the decorations, the bedding.
Right.
Even historically, the sedan chair that would carry the bride, all of it would be bathed in red.
And this is where it gets really interesting for, you listening at home. How does this luck and joy get exchanged? It's not just about what you wear. It's about the transaction of it all.
And that brings us right to the hongbao.
The red envelope.
The red envelope. This is probably the most widely recognized use of red as a vehicle for fortune. At a wedding or during holidays, you give money in these bright red envelopes.
And the envelope itself is the important part.
The money is almost secondary.
Yeah.
The red paper transforms it from just cash into a literal transfer of good luck, of heikion, and blessings.
So if I gave you the same amount of money, but in, say, a white envelope?
Oh, that would be terrible, a
Right.
disaster. Because white envelopes are for funerals, for mourning. To use one at a wedding would signal the exact opposite of what you intend. It would be a wish of misfortune and sadness. The color of the paper is the entire message.
The packaging dictates the meaning. Wow.
Oh, it really does.
Okay, what about the symbols themselves? There's that one character you see plastered everywhere in red during weddings,
You're thinking of the Shunklak character?
the double happiness symbol.
Exactly. It's literally the character for happiness written twice, side by side. It's cut out of red paper, put on invitations on gifts on the front door of the couple's new home.
Doubling the luck.
It's a beautifully simple way of doubling the promise. Happiness for the individual and happiness for the couple together. It shows how color and the language are just woven together to maximize that positive energy.
That really connects everything so neatly. You have this massive wave of positive energy flowing into the private life of a new family. But let's move out of the wedding hall now.
Into the community.
Right. Because red isn't just for personal milestones.
Right.
It floods public life, especially during big annual celebrations.
That's right. And when we look at it on a community level, red's role shifts a little bit. It still means joy and luck, but it picks up a very crucial secondary function.
Which is?
Protection. It goes from just attracting good things to actively pushing away the bad.
And that takes us straight to the biggest celebration of the year.
The Chinese New Year. The Spring Festival.
Why is red so mandatory during this period? It feels like it's not even an option.
Because the entire origin of the holiday in folklore demands it. This is where red becomes a shield. The sources talk about its power to drive away evil.
And to get that, you have to understand the myth of the Neon.
Exactly, the Neon monster.
So tell us about this creature. It seems like the key to this whole protective idea.
Okay, so the Neon was this terrifying beast. Legend says it would come out of the sea or the mountains on New Year's Eve.
To do what?
To attack villages. It would destroy their crops, eat their livestock, even devour children.
Horrifying.
Absolutely. The villagers were terrified, obviously, until they figured out the Neon had 3 weaknesses.
Let me guess. One of them was the color red.
You got it. It was terrified of loud noises, which is where firecrackers come from. It was afraid of fire. And critically, it was afraid of the color red.
So the whole New Year celebration, all the red lanterns and decorations, it's basically a massive annual reenactment of defending the village from a monster.
It's public safety through color. Every red banner, every red lantern, every child in a red jacket. It's all part of this collective ward against an ancient evil. The color is there to ensure the community is safe for the year ahead.
A folk belief that's become part of the national calendar.
And it even gets built into the architecture.
How do you mean?
Well, if you look at traditional Chinese buildings, temples, palaces, important structures, red is a dominant color.
On the gates, the pillars.
Exactly. And that wasn't just to look nice. It was a practical application of this belief. The auspicious color would welcome good fortune in, while at the same time warding off any negative energy from entering. The building itself gets a kind of positive spiritual shield.
That is just. It's remarkable. The same color that signals danger stop in one part of the world signals protection, status, and this overwhelming optimism in another.
And it all comes from a story about a monster.
It's just woven into everything, from what a bride wears on her wedding day to the very foundations of a palace.
It creates this completely seamless symbolic world. And think about the psychological effect of that, of growing up in that environment. Red isn't just a color.
No, it's a constant message.
A constant affirmation of joy, of safety, of prosperity. It injects hope into your biggest life moments and provides a shield when you're most vulnerable.
So after this deep dive, what does this all tell us? We started with a simple color, and we've ended up with an entire worldview.
I think it forces us to really question our assumptions about what's universal. The sources make it so clear that meaning isn't inherent in things. It's assigned. It's historical.
And it can be completely opposite from one culture to another.
Right. And if something as basic as the color red, which has the same physical wavelength everywhere on Earth, can be so completely inverted in its meaning.
Joy and protection versus danger and caution.
Exactly. It really raises an important question for you, the listener.
A question about the symbols we take for granted.
Precisely. It encourages you to think. How many other things, concepts or even hand gestures that we assume are universal are actually completely arbitrary, or maybe even mean the opposite somewhere else?
Yeah.
If the symbols you live by create the world you experience, then realizing that your entire symbolic system could be flipped upside down for someone else. That's the key to understanding how complex global communication really is.
A reminder to look beneath the surface of even the most common signs.
It's a reminder that being truly informed means you have to do that work of digging up the hidden meanings.
A profound thought to end on. Thank you for diving in with us today. And